Hello and welcome everybody. This is Doc Williams from the Toolkit, and today we're going to be talking about how to build a successful fitness brand. Okay, so before, and this is in the Pillar of Success series. So we've talked about how to build a wonderful business, how to work on being a personal trainer, but this is how to be a successful fitness brand. And you've got to go through all the other processes, the other lessons to get to this point. And then today we're going to go through the 6 ways to make that happen and for you to get to the next level. So guys, take notes on this, ask us questions afterwards, but this stuff, I really like this because what happened was so many times you hear about people making brands and taking these courses, and they only work for a limited amount of time because they're using a tactic or a gimmick, but they're not understanding that for a real brand to have sustainability, it has to be all about you, the person that's behind the brand, to keep this going. And if you just follow someone that is their formula based on their success, a lot of variables can happen because you're not in their own network, you're not in that network, so it's not going to work the same way. Number two, the tactics might not work in your demographic or your type of business. So this is specifically how to build a fitness brand, and this is all about you. So before in the lesson we were talking about, let me switch back. 4 ways to turn your fitness hobby into a real business. Okay, so the reason this is different than from a hobby to a business, hobby is just a concept. Business, you're making revenue now, you're doing pretty well, but now you're bringing and you're elevating that business to a brand. Now, what's the difference? With a business, you're going to be giving a very concrete service or product. A brand can have a concept or a key mission, and then you can express that in many different types of products, services, and everything like that. For instance, one of our clients, Christmas Abbott, she came out with years ago talking about the Badass Diet. That was the catalyst to building her brand. So the book was first that great expression of what she thought about wellness and planning that diet. And now she's coming out with a lot of different expressions of that. She's coming out with a workout plan, coming out with a new app, coming out with a supplement line. All those things are expressions of the same thing about living that, having a badass diet and really having a badass life now being expressed. All those different things. Yes, they're very different. She does different partnerships. She does a lot of it by herself and her team, but then she partners with other companies to build out the other things that she wants. The same way with your brand, instead of just thinking about training or nutrition, what are people asking from you? Maybe it's live events, seminars, retreats, um, services such as a SaaS product, which is just means a service as software as a service. So that would be something that you could do automated. It could be partnerships with local food chains. It could be partnership with equipment, apparel, etc. So you're going to be getting a lot of different offers when you start building up your business and when you're transforming it into a brand. But the problem is, if you become too reactionary, where you're just now looking at all the opportunities, it becomes a shiny object syndrome where you're just grabbing at anything that people are telling you that's a great idea. Apparel can be great, but a lot of people fail at apparel. It's great to have a hat, it's great to have a shirt, but it's actually a lot more difficult. And in the Toolkit Summit 2016, Danny Lear, my business partner and co-founder, actually talks about what it took to build an apparel line. It's not just as easy as setting up a shop on Shopify and thinking it's going to just keep growing. So there's a lot of different factors. So I would encourage you to watch that breakdown on that summit. So today we're going to be identifying the 6 ways to building your brand, and this is all about you. So let's get right into it. So the first thing is you have to identify your goals. So why is this important? Excuse me. It's important because your goals are going to change over time but you might have short-term goals and long-term goals. So what you want to do is make sure you have your long-term goals, what you plan on doing 2 to 3 to 5 years away, and then what are your short-term goals? What are you going to do for the next 3 months, this next quarter in the year? And then from there, identifying why you want those goals. Do you want the freedom? Perhaps you're changing your business model from personal training to more of courses or programs that you can just give out, people are buying. Maybe you want more freedom and you don't want to see more one-on-one clients. So that's one goal that you might want to look at. Also, maybe you just have found a new passion. You started out in strength and conditioning, and now you love nutrition and lifestyle and life coaching and changing people's perspective on their life. So think about the trajectory of where you're going to be going. The other idea is to think about your monetary or your cash goals. Now, why is this important? Why is this different? And why are we doing this second? Because if you have your goal as money first, you're always going to be running after it, and it's going to be a hot mess. If you don't look at the goals of why you want to do it and you emotionally want to get to those goals, money is good at first, but you will find out that it's limiting and you're going to hate it. You could be making all the money in the world, but if you don't love what you're doing something wrong, and you're going to be just bitter. And no one likes bitter people. You don't like being around bitter people. Don't be one. So the goal of money is to sustain the lifestyle that you want. So you've got to connect it to part one, where your goals in your business, your business, emotionally, spiritually, family goals, all those things should be connected into point number one. The second point about money is you want to think about that, because a lot of our clients have a grandiose idea of, I'm just going to be programming online, I'm going to be in my pajamas all day, and I don't want to see clients. Or I want to write a book and I want to take a year off. Well, I would love getting paid to eat, but that's not happening right now. Not yet. Not yet. So how do we get to that point? Well, think about it this way. Perhaps could you be reinvigorated by only training half the amount of people that you see? Or could you do one type of activity in the morning and then have your free time in the afternoon? Do you have to be all online? Those are the questions that you're going to have to really examine and then tie them into your monetary goals. Because what you can do is, if everything's going great and you're like, I just need more money and I'd rather not train for the last 3 hours of my day, well, easily you could look and identify higher paying clients, book them, cut down on whatever you're else doing, and now you're getting more income in person. And now you just have to supplement the difference by going online and saying, hey, I'm doing programming. Are you interested in X? And now you're being more specific. So now you're getting more time, you're being rewarded more by your personal training, your one-on-one, and you're getting to your monetary goals. One of our clients, they knew that people kept asking them over and over and over again to train them. They didn't want to train non-athletes, but they were broke and they were looking for more money. Well, instead of struggling and trying to build up an online business right away, they took the in-person clients, charged them at a premium. So now they have more money to reinvest into their business and slowly allow themselves to not train in person. But if they're going to train you there and you don't mind training, there's a price that you can find. There's definitely a price. Now, you might say it's going to be high. Well, make it high and see what happens. But if there's money on the table, find out how to get that money on the table. Even if it's, hey, it's my brand, people still want to be associated with me. Well, I have my star pupil is now training and they're under my brand. Go see them. And now you're taking a residual cut from your trainer. So think about that outside the box. The other thing is to identify traction. Now, why is this important to building a brand? Because if you don't identify traction, you'll always be on catching up. You'll always be trying to catch up. And why is that dangerous? Because your income, your revenue sources will not be as strong as it could be. For example, say for instance, you want to move into more health and wellness, but people keep asking you about plans to sculpt their abs or get big arms. Well, that might annoy you, but if you're having 20 to 50% of all of your reoccurring, clients or interests are about those things, find out a way to monetize that traction. Listen to what they're doing. Your audience is telling you what they want from you. And then that other part, A/B test what you're passionate about and get that going. One of our clients that we work with, they had one type of business, but they wanted to move into a different demographic. Well, that's great, but you're already getting paid this way. Find a way to streamline it so you won't be bogged down. Get an assistant and then work on your passion as well. So they did just that. They have an assistant. It runs almost all their onboarding with the assistant now, and he can now focus on his passion. And with that, he's mirroring to get his branding and his messaging with his current brand, his current business, and his upcoming brand to coincide. So look for ways to identify where people are trying to pay you. If they're trying to pay you, find out a way to make it work. Okay, that's half the battle. Most of the time, you're trying to attract people, get people to notice you. If they're just like, take my money, shut up and take my money, take it and figure out how you can add that value thereafter. Okay, another thing is offer a product or service. Okay, so this is building your brand. As a business, you probably already have a product or service that you're offering, but how can you have different expressions of that? For instance, if you're already just doing a one-on-one or a small group rate for training, can you offer a seminar where you're bringing a lot of people together for a short amount of time, either a day or a 2-day or a weekend course, where you're building your brand and now you're specializing in something? For instance, if you've got a lot of clients that you're training that is CrossFit specific or maybe powerlifting, and you're building your brand and you want to bring that authority up, you might specifically have a seminar once a month or maybe once a quarter, identifying one key element to make them great in that sport. So say, for instance, if it's CrossFit, but you're really proficient at teaching gymnastics and the progressions of either work on the rings or body weight mechanics, look at where you can identify a seminar structure where you can teach that. And now you're bringing in either your past clients that you've helped them or past students that are now trainers that can help you with it. So there are two reasons. Number one, they're the before and after. They are a walking testimonial for you. Number two, they help you out. So they're building experience. And now you have a larger amount of people that identify you as the authority of something very specific. It's very hard for you to be the king of everything, such as you can't be the king of strength and conditioning. It's too big. You can't even be the king of or queen of yoga, but can you be the authority on hot yoga? What about just breathing in different types of yoga positions, getting really deep down into the weeds, and then building your seminar style based on that? For us, we're into helping fitness entrepreneurs and helping them building their brand. But what we've really whittled down and really capitalized on, we're the king of tech for fitness entrepreneurs. No one does that better. We build hardware, we've researched software, we have all of the software that we build from scratch, coding and everything. So a lot of people do fitness and entrepreneurship and business planning, but no one really capitalizes on technology and teaching the software. And then from that positioning, then we talk about branding. So what position can you be at to talk to your audience? The other one is, after going through offering a product or a service that you want, then you've got to analyze the results. For instance, you might think, oh, I'd love a retreat. Oh, please sign me up in Cancun, Mexico. I want 25 people there. I'm just going to be on the beach teaching them CrossFit. I'm going to be swimming every day. I'm going to go to the bar. Okay, that's great. How many people are really going to sign up? Have you tested this? Instead of maybe doing a retreat that's far away, can you do a retreat at a training facility, an iconic training facility that's near you, where you have connections and it can be very easy to do? So Analyze your results by testing it, seeing what people do, and then from there, see where you did well and then where you need to improve. And then you go through the cycles of traction and seeing how you build that brand. Your brand is only going to be built on traction. It's great to test and be dreaming of a long-term goal, but excuse me, you're going to always need to look at the traction. For instance, look on at Elon Musk. He had 3 goals in life. He wanted to transform how people use or interacted with money, change transportation, and go to space. Now, if Elon said that at 25 at PayPal, would people really understand what he was doing or his vision? People would be like, nah, Elon, get out of here. But Elon, what he did was he transformed money. Now, did he go to every person and say, hey, I need to rethink money. I'm going to have you put your credit card information online in the mid 1990s? No. He saw an identified traction of what people were trying to do. On eBay, people were trying to transact on money, create transactions, and he saw that there was no secure way. So he reinvented that or worked on that idea, and PayPal existed. I mean, look how successful it is. And then from that, actually, money that he made at PayPal, that's actually what fueled Tesla and then his space company too. I think that's SpaceX. But all of those things were fueled by first identifying traction, positioning the messaging, not I'm changing money, but you would like to buy something from another country. How can I make it easier for you? Identified the traction. That's how his business model worked. And that's how he got his brand up and going. And that's what fueled his other brands. So once you do that, you rinse and repeat it. So we talked about identifying your goals. That's going to happen in your life, where you want to go with your family, spiritually, emotionally. Then you're identifying your goals versus the money that helps you support the lifestyle that you want, and everyone's different. So you want to really plan that out. And instead of just saying, oh, I'd love to make 6 figures this year, break it down how much it costs to live in the place you want to live, in the part of the world, the part of the country, part of everything. Talk about what it would take, transportation, money, for food, insurance, all those things. And then also, can you start at one level and then scale it? And that's with your goals and also your monetary goals. Then you're going to identify your traction, where people are saying that you are great or you are helping them already. Then you're going to offer a product or service to them. You're going to analyze the results, rinse and repeat. No joke, guys. This is what we teach clients every month, that transforms their business, transforms their vision. It's understanding these things. So it's not rocket science. It's not anything crazy. It's just being really, really honest with yourself and putting in a structure of doing this systematically. We're cutting out the guessing work. We're cutting out the emotional component where we're just, excited about doing business because it's doing well or it's a passion. This is about pure numbers to get you to have a wonderful brand that we know you're capable of. So hit us up at doc@thetoolkitagency.com. You can email me there. Go to thetoolkitagency.com for all the tutorial videos, all the mayhem you want to watch. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.